Hi there, it's Ryan again. Welcome back to the All Glass Parts YouTube channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Truth Maxim dual arm operators. Now we carry three. One of them is far more common than the other two, but I just want to start with differentiating the three, showing you how to tell the difference between the three, and then we'll go a little bit deeper into the more common one here. The three on the table are all white color, obviously, and they are left hand. Obviously, they come in right hands as well, and some of them come in different colors. Now let's start off with the common one. That's the one in the center. This is the 6-1453. Comes in lefts and rights, as well as different colors. Now this is the one right here that is on 99% of windows. So starting there is a good bet at identifying the one that you have. Now to identify it, you will measure the long arm here. So you'll go from the center of the gear right to where this pin is, right in the middle of the pin, and we have 10 3/8. Now this one does not have a black plastic guide on it, but yours most likely will, so it'll have this on there. So again, you go from the center of the gear right to the middle of the black plastic guide, or in this case, it's not on there, the middle of the pin, that's 10 3/8. Now we do have two other ones which are far less common, but they are out there. There's a smaller arm here. Again, you use the same measuring, middle of the gear to the middle of the pin, and you get 8 3/4. This one has the black plastic glide at the end. You may see that on your window. So again, you measure middle of the gear to the middle of that pin. It's 8 3/4. Finally, Truth Hardware makes one with a plastic wheel at the end. So it is the exact same 8 3/4 measurement, it just has a plastic wheel on it, and it goes in a different kind of track. It's just how the windows set up a little differently, so they have the track on a different part of the opening leaf. So again, 8 3/4 and a plastic wheel. That is out there, not very common. With all that said, let's go back to the common one, because this is the one that will be on 99% of windows. Now this is again the 6-1453 LW. We have it in lefts, rights, as well as multiple colors. Now once you identify this is yours, there is a couple things you also may need. There's different handle selections. We can put up the link on the page here that will go to the different handles that will fit this operator. As well, this small square plastic guide comes separately. You can reuse yours, but sometimes it is a bit of a pain to get off, because it does, you have to pry it off, but there's a tendency for them to break sometimes. This is part number 6-1454 Glide. You can purchase that separately. This track here, usually you don't need to replace this. This is on the opening leaf of the window. This track here is 6-1454. It comes with the track and the glide together, or of course you can just get the plastic glide. That is 6-1454 Glide. Finally, the last piece on here is the stud bracket. Now, the stud bracket attaches to the small arm here. This is part number 6-1353. Now, this operator is a left hand, but depending on how the window is set up, it can either go with a 6-1353 left or a 6-1353 right. Just because this operator is a left doesn't necessarily mean it goes with a left-hand stud bracket. It could go with either or. It depends on how the window is set up. So again, make sure you look at the stud bracket if you need to purchase one separately. You don't necessarily have to, but I find it's good to get a stud bracket just because it's much easier to work with starting from scratch than trying to pry this off of your old operator. So again, left or right, it doesn't necessarily mean it goes with a left-hand operator. Make sure you get the right one. So you'll get the stud bracket. Sorry, let's go back a second. So you'll identify your operator, most likely the 6-1453. Black plastic glide, the 6-1454 Glide, which can be purchased separate, and then the stud bracket, 6-1353. Determine which hand you have there, and then you can go from there. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll see you next time.